This is your defining moment. What do I mean by a defining moment? This is what you get one time, maybe twice if you. Some of you singers, this is your last go around. You got the opportunity to go from great, y'all had a great team last year, to legendary. You got an opportunity to go from great to legendary. That's simple. So if you ain't making paper this time, don't worry about it. You will this time. I'm thankful to see each and every one of you. When I walked into Coach Bell's office, I asked him simple check to come and talk to me. The reason why I'm so thankful, I was supposed to spend 135 years in prison. I left school after my 2005 season, 2004, 2005. I signed my AFL contract October of 2005. I was locked up February 21st, 2006. About 13, 14 days before my report date to the AFL. I was facing 135 years in prison at 23 years old. I don't know about you, that's a defining moment if I could ever give you one. You went from having everything in the palm of your hand to everything vacated. How many of y'all know what it's like to have everything taken from you that you work for? I should see every returning player hand up right now, because those were some nice rings. I don't know if y'all still got them, but I saw them, those was nice. To have somebody take something from you that you worked, you bled, you sweated for, ain't no feeling like that. But the good news is, the king still remained the king, even if somebody steals his crown. I don't think you heard me. The king remained the king, even if somebody steals his crown. You don't stop him from being king. He just got to figure out how to get the crown back. And that's where legendary comes into play. In 16 years, I don't know if y'all did y'all history work when y'all decided to come to the university for the new guy. 16 years, what's the one thing this program has not done? Repeat, what's the other thing? Huh? All right, maybe a third thing. Huh? I can't hear you. I can't hear you like you mean it. You could be the first team in JU history since the program started in 1998, which was our first season, to go 11-0. I just told you my man got 3,100 yards on the record books. Got a bunch of y'all's names up there I saw in the record books for things that y'all did. That's great. That's wonderful. Personal achievement is phenomenal. But you set records, and then records fall. Great people set records. Legendary teams live forever. You got the chance to be legendary. If you go 11-0, you're not only the first team to do it, but can nobody ever take your position again. 11-0. The only thing that they can do is match it. Maybe go to the playoffs. But they can never be legends. That's their defining moment. You don't have another time like this one. You don't have another time where somebody's taking something from you, essentially punch you in the mouth, and ask you what you're going to do about it. I remember driving through my city. I just got my AFL deal, signed everything, worked hard for it, man. I took the time out, you know. I wrote my little article and everything. I had my article typed up, took my bio, took a copy of my contract, put it in a nice little folder, made sure it was shiny and everything. Even used the 3-ring thing, if y'all know what I'm talking about. This is my story. This is what's going on with me. I came out of City League school with no funding, no coaching. Nobody did my recruiting. I started getting recruited as a freshman right after my freshman season. But I did it. I'm here. Going to the AFL now. Going to New York. Contract was supposed to start March 13th. Didn't Did that in October. Right at that time I did. Every day from October to February, I went and got the paper. Me and my man was joking, my business partner out there, we was joking. He was like, man, you spent like $20, $30 on paper. Yeah, I never got that money back either. But every day I went to see when it was, I ain't on the front page. Maybe the front page of the sports. You know what I mean? Maybe the front page of the sports. But I was waiting on my moment. This is my time. It's my defining moment. Be careful what you ask for. Because I never saw my name, never saw the article, never saw my AFL contract, never saw none of that. By February 22nd, I made all major news stations. I made all 4 major papers in my city. Kingpin, down, gang leader, arrested. My first plea bargain was 60 to 70 years in prison. I wasn't rap right, so I'm in there, gave me the plea, listening to my attorney. I'm like, okay, if I do 70, worst case scenario, I do 70. I'm 23. I'll get out when I'm 93. My daughter's 3, so she'll be 73. Black man don't live that long. You don't live to be 73. Not my family anyway. You don't live to be 73. Or 93, let alone. And by that time, my daughter's a great-grandma. Right? So, by the blessings of God and the paid attorney, I got sentenced to 5, did 3, and I realized at that moment I had a purpose. I wanted to be in the paper real bad. God got a sense of humor. Because I still got them articles. That was a defining moment in my life. Because it was at that moment that I didn't have football anymore. My contract was voided. I didn't have partners in the street to listen to. I didn't have a family to support no more. It was at that moment where everybody else had everything to say about who I was that I didn't know who I was. The guy I got caught with, again, police got a great sense of humor. He was in the holding cell right above me. I remember the cop going to get him, and he crying. Boy, he crying. You can hear him. And he's like, when can I go home? The cop like, you ain't? He's like, what do you mean? I didn't do nothing. He said, you may not have done nothing, but your friend a criminal. I remember that now. That's been almost 8 years ago. He said, your friend is a criminal. Now, to me, I was offended. You know, you got a little bit of ego. You can feel it. I'm like, hold up. I lift every night from 9 to 12. I commit crime from about 12, 4 or 5. Then I go pick my mother up. I take her to work. I got my daughter full time. I'm a good guy. I pay for my mother. I pay for my father. I ain't missed a day in my daughter's life. I'm a good dude. Regardless of what I did to get it, I was getting it. I thought the ends would justify the means. But when I looked at it, all the time that I spent committing crime, all the time that I spent setting up on dope boys to rob them, doing surveillance, getting to know people's emotions, all that time, and then I compared that to the time that I spent in the gym and focusing on my gift, which was football, and I have to say I tripled the amount of time that I spent developing my gift as a football player. So if I invested all that time in crime, which is up here, and then I invested this much time in football, who was I? I was a criminal. That's who I was. That's who I become. Now that's the long backstory. Who you are in this defining moment is going to be determined by your time. I didn't hear none of the coaches tell you or say to y'all that y'all should have said goodbye to your parents, your moms, and daddy, and your daughters if you got them. All of that. Because football season on. You'll see them again. Probably right around December. Right? Because 2 days ain't never been fun for nobody. It's like you never get tired of seeing each other. Anyway, if you expect to be legendary, if you plan on going to the next level, congratulations, you guys have been great. In order to be who you never been, you have to do things that you have not done yet. That means there's no finding ways out of, what is it, conditioning test. I don't know if y'all already did that. Trying to find a slick way to miss one of the tests so you can get to the other test, and trying to finagle like I did really good on these tests, I might do so good on that test. Legendary don't do that. Good does. Great might. Legendary finds every test, every drill at 150% every single time. Legendary doesn't let the freshmen oversleep just because you like, well, they're freshmen. You got an opportunity to define what the rest of your life is going to be like, and it starts with who you are. It starts with who you are. It starts where you're going to put your time at, where you're putting your energy. You got Madden set up yet? Got your TV on your little desk? Got your joysticks ready for everybody to come to your thing? Gonna start betting off your lunch trays? You know what I mean? Whatnot. Or you taking your time out and you studying your playbook. That's what legendary is. Legendary says that it don't matter what the paper says. They said San Diego, the team to beat. That's strange. I thought y'all had to walk San Diego into the playoffs last year. Right. That's crazy. The thing about that is, when you become legendary, when you hit that 11-0 mark, you can turn around and you can hung and lost half of the league. And even if somebody becomes the PFL champs, they're PFL champs with an asterisk. DTR. What does DTR stand for? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You are determined to repeat as champions of the Pioneer League. And you're set to put your name on an active roster of a team that's going to make JU history. If you want to be legendary, if you want to be in the paper, I suggest you shut out the noise now. I suggest you buy in now. I don't think I need to tell most of y'all that. A lot of y'all return. I suggest that you get whatever imaginations out of your head that you got about being a street cat that's in college. You can't be both. One will wash the other. I advise you that you take advantage of this opportunity, this moment, because this moment doesn't last forever. Some of you got 4 years, some of y'all this is the last one, but this is your moment. If you're a freshman, this is your moment just as much as it is for the seniors. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Where are you going to put your time at? Do you mean DTR, or are you just going through the motions? When you dare to do something, it don't matter who say you can't do it. When I was in the joint, my father said to me, listen, you lucky if you get out. We'll do what we can. I wasn't supposed to ever get out. Then when I beat that, I wasn't ever supposed to get a job. I came out, I've been working since the day I hit the bricks. I started working part-time at GNC, worked my way up to a senior level manager of the only $1 million store in Jacksonville. Then once I did that, I said I would never let there be an unemployed fellow on the street. Because I put myself in a position to change something for somebody else. And then once I got to that place, it was time for me to move forward. Because my whole mental, the whole time I was down, I was walking the rain. And all I could see in my mind's eye was being able to help people. Whatever it took to be able to help somebody, that's what I want to do. I just want to help somebody. I wanted to stop some kid from going through the same doors that I went through. I want to go to every single college in the nation, and I want to tell you guys how lucky you are to be a part of a fraternity that can last the rest of your life. I didn't have that. I walked through college a gangster. But I walked back into the university and tell you that this is your defining moment. This is your moment to become legendary as a man. God saw fit to give me a chance to come out and be legendary. That's why when I stand in front of you today, everything I am. But when they call me back, DTR, 1, 2, 3. I'm sure that's my time. Thank you here for having me. Hopefully something I said applies to go out and be legendary.